brothers and sisters. Well, in the second panel, I have started with the statement saying that the climate change is a reality and its effects are enormous. We all experience the effects every day in our lives. In my panel, under the theme of Buddhist advice to cope with climate change, there are 3 panelists. They have discussed how can we make use of the teachings of the Buddha in environmental issues. Venerable Panya Vajramoli explained that how our behavior and demands can cause environmental crisis. So-called economic development create disasters. If we are not mindful, we have to experience the results. Careless utilization of natural resources leads to man-made disasters. If we are not mindful, industrial revolution create environmental pollution. As a result, water and air is polluted. So the mindful consumption reduce the use of hazardous chemicals in agriculture and industry. Global pollution created by human beings endanger the life of humans, animals, and the natural environment. He talked about how can we use solar energy to reduce the environmental pollution. Renewable energy can make a big difference. He said that moral principles and mindful consumption can advocate and train our people to face global crises that impact everyone's lives. Venerable So-un talked about liberating animals have an unintended negative impact on the environment. So whatever we do have to be thoughtful and evaluate the consequences. Sometimes we think we are doing some good deeds, but we don't see the impact or the results in the long run. People have good intentions, but do not see the ending results. In order to cope with the current environmental crisis, especially the climate change, we as Buddhists can use core teachings of the Buddha. For example, harmless living, ahimsa, non-killing. Ecosystem has changed because of the human behavior. So we have to emphasize eco-friendly lifestyle to avoid environmental crisis. The third speaker in my panel, Dr. Asoka Bandarage, said that we have to look at the issue of climate change and its impact on nature is not just a political issue. It is also a moral and ethical issue. In the Buddhist teaching, the teachings of interdependence and Eightfold Path provide the direction to address the climate crisis. It gives guidance for transforming human greed, hatred, and illusion towards a conscious living, mindful consumption, profit-driven global economy has many negative impact on environment. Environmental sustainability and social protection depend on our actions. So, by understanding and practicing the Buddhist ethics and values, can find answers to cope with climate change. This is the report or the summary of their speeches and the comments. So, and then it shows that the human greed and the consumerism create so many uncomfortable conditions that eventually become crisis in our day-to-day life. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Most Venerable Bhante Chauchu. Very comprehensive report. Now I would like to call upon our third moderator, Most Venerable Professor Kamai Dhammasamy from United Kingdom. He moderated the session, Buddhist contribution to further social and humanitarian development after COVID pandemic. Sir, you have the floor now.
Thank you very much, Venerable Dr.